Let's talk about course of study. I think this is the thing that I'm not sure if it's a good thing or bad addition to the program. Here's what I don't like. If you choose to do it by choosing courses, it could take you 2 hours to enter a whole high school career of courses. Because you click and you got to find another course, and I don't know about you, the list is pretty extensive for each. So if you go into English, there's, a million classes there. I think the recommendation that I am giving, and Linda can help me out because she heard the talk about this, is do it manually. List the courses that you have in your schools. Okay?
And the reason for that, to do it manually or to do it with the state system, whatever way you start with, that's what you have to use for the whole year. So I've been using it, and I found it the manual entry is just like what I do with the I-8HM form that we have. So it's really not going to change mine.
Did you just put in this year's courses, or do we have to go back and do?
No, you don't have to go back. So that's just this year and forward, 1 year forward.
Yeah. And the state, and I don't know if anybody from guidance is in here, but I've been informed that there's a state law that now says that in 8th grade, each 8th grader must meet with a guidance counselor minimally for 15 minutes in their 8th grade year and plan a course of study for their whole entire high school. I know from my information of asking around that those plans have not been put in place in our school district yet. And I don't know where they're going to go with that. It might be something that gets ignored as long as we can ignore it. However, if it did happen, it would be an opportunity for us to take that course, put it in their 8th grade year, and then it would be there forever. And all you have to do is review, revise. The cool thing is what you put in there, like now with the I-8HM, stays there, and you will be able to revise it. Okay? Minimally, you need this current year that you're in and the next year, because IEPs always go into a next year, unless you would do it the day before school starts or something, but that's very rare, right? So, let me see. Linda, was there anything else on that?
There's a question about if it's a tentative plan. Put in the tentative plan.
Best guess as of the moment of that IEP.
Because I do have one parent that will tell me that I'm violating the IEP if I can't get a kid into a certain class.
Suggested course of study.
Well, I mean,
Maybe we could use some little words with that. If you're manually putting it in, if available.
If there's courses that only run like every other year and you know it consistently, don't put in they're going to have it. Put in and they may, if available, have it. We don't have control over that. That's where the principal's going to have to come in and have a conversation with that family.
So we could do that. We could enter the math, English, science, social studies, and then the remaining courses, list them, qualifying it by saying if available, or if it's with the schedule. We could do something like that.
You could even say these are suggested electives that we're going to plan for, and have the same ones for a couple of years, because you can't do them all at once. You only got room for 3 electives a year later on, right? So you can write the suggested course of electives. These are the course electives suggested for a career in this area, and put them down there. You're never guaranteed of anything. Okay. Okay. Now that you all have, does everybody here get their AMS login done? There are a couple. We'll need to work on a couple. I would ask that you work with your coordinator to get that done. If we have to get you to some, I heard there's some weird things with some emails that we have to fix. We're gonna need to work on that. Understand that if you can't get in there, you can't do it. But here's what I'm telling you is that Linda's been, as we speak, taking the lists, your Post-its, and turning your application. Some of you may have gotten emails while we sat here today, stating that you are enrolled. If you go there now, you could look, I'm just telling you this because if you know you're enrolled, you can go log in using your login and address, and you can see what that you should have visible the kids from your schools. I want to warn you, Linda had an incident with a kid who's in our district and is being served at another agency, but if it's a student on your caseload and he is registered through your school at an outside agency, they should be on there. In this case, we had a kid who came in and is living from another city, living here under kind of temporary housing type of situation, and for whatever reason he wasn't entered. And suddenly, 2 minutes later, after she made some phone calls, he popped up and there he was. She was able to get into him, so we don't know what happened there. But if they're not there, check with your secretary and make sure that they're registered, especially with new students to the district.
Rose, Denny.
Go ahead.
What about students that reside in our district but attend school here?
If they are school choiced here, achieved their choice to North, they would be a North student. If they're tuition waiver, any of those, they're registered as a North student. Yep. The only thing I don't know is if another district pays us to have that student, we would, they should be.
A tuition student is assigned to.
Yep. I didn't check that one. I checked some of the other ones, but that's why we have these meetings to hear all the questions. Okay, let's talk about the end, because the end's going to be a little different when you do it yourself later. When you lock, and I don't know if I went over this. What? Right. When a transition plan is locked, at that point, you have sent it and stated that you are finished with that. And an error report is printed. That error report will give you an action plan. And guess what? You have no choice but to follow that action plan, because now Big Brother follows you. Here's what'll happen, is you'll have a choice with that action plan to have a meeting or not to have a meeting. You can do both, but you will have to go back in and redo it and review and revise with different dates, because it will not allow you to use the same date, because you've already locked it. So here's what we're going to do to kind of start out with. Here's our plan. And we're going to work with coordinators in the future weeks and months to see if this is working for us. And I sent them an email with the surprise yesterday, and I'm sorry to them for the late notice, because it was a surprise. But we are asking you not to lock until you have someone check it. And right now we're asking in-building coordinators to figure that out with you. Okay? Now that puts a burden on them, but this is one of those things where I don't want you guys or us, because once we get one, you know what's going to happen. They're going to start looking for more. And that means, I'm afraid, they're going to see if we're making a lot of mistakes, they're going to come back and start looking at all of our IEPs. And I don't know about you, but I make mistakes. We all make mistakes. And the last thing we want is come looking for more mistakes. So let's try this. So do not lock. Your coordinator, Linda or myself, will do the locking for it at this point. I hope that sounds reasonable. Coordinators, please let us know, and if we have to have a meeting about this, let us know and we'll work through the process. But that's the best I have for right now. And until we really get into it, because there's parts of this I can't even do because I have nobody in there. Like I can't see what a locked document looks like, even though I have rights to. I can't look at it or do anything with it because it's not ready yet. And I don't have any kids in it. Okay. Last couple things. Last couple of things and you'll be done. It's almost 2 and I want to get you out on time. So please listen up. Lynn and I have set times to go to the 3 high schools. We will be at North October 30th and South on October 30th on these times. So North is 7:30 to 9:30. We'll be for North teachers. It's my office, room 302. If anybody else has off that time and wants to pop over, you're welcome. South High School is October 30th from 1 till 3. Place will be announced. I think we're going to try to do that library where we did it last year, but I don't know if it's available or what we'll be able to do for sure. West High School on the 31st, we will come wearing our costumes, and we're going to be there from 1 to 3. We didn't have time to really check with anybody. We hope these times are. If they don't, building coordinators let us know. We'll work out a better option. But it was what we had right now in this short time to get people started. Middle school coordinators will contact Linda and myself, and we will set up times. We promise we're coming out if you want us to come out. If you don't want us, we won't come, but if you do, we will spend a couple hours at each middle school also. It was just in the time frame we had, and we didn't get that figured out yet either with our schedule.